Alright friends, so after we have animated our character in Daz, we are now going to import him into Marvelous Designer for some clothing. So I'm just going to go up to File and Import, and then Alembic. And then I'm going to find my Alembic file. Sometimes it takes a minute to import the Alembic into Marvelous, and there we go. But if it's too big of a file and if it causes you issues at all in your creation process in here, maybe I'd go back into Daz and lower your mesh resolution and then re-export and import into Marvelous. But we've got our guy. Let's zoom out here. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I'm probably just going to add some pants, and then I might do like a cloak thing. I'm going to kind of play around with it, but let's just get started. I'm going to go up to our polygon tool, and I'm going to make some pants. And these are going to be some high-waisted Adam Driver style Kylo Ren pants. I'm just going to have a cutoff point for waistband, and then I'm going to take these kind of out. They're going to be wide leg pants. Okay, so we got our front shape. Then let's duplicate this and bring it to the back. Also make sure we flip our normals so that we have the right side of the pants facing outward. And let's also move this in the viewport. I'll just move them to the right. Okay, and now we can sew the pants. Let's go to our sewing tool and let's make sure we're on our segment sewing. And now we can start sewing. Wrong one. Just pay attention to where your sewing lines are. Okay, I think we should be good. So let's just take a peek at what that's like. Okay, maybe drag this into place. So yeah, just do some tweaking and pulling where you need to. I think what I'm gonna do is add an internal line at where that waistband is and try to use a little bit of elastic so that even as he moves, things don't kind of fall around. But I'm just kind of experimenting here. But I'm gonna go internal line and I'm gonna draw between these points and then hit enter and do the same thing here. And then let's go to edit pattern and select both of those lines, and then we'll check our elastic option. Let's just see what that does. Maybe the waist is too small. That could be part of it. I'm gonna select outer points and drag them a little bit wider of our pants. Let's see. If we change our particle distance down to 10, I wonder if that will do anything. Let's add some extra trim to the bottom of our pants too. So go to internal line, draw from here to here, enter, and then here to here, enter. And then let's copy both of those onto the back pants as well. Okay, so now we probably should be able to cut and the front. Okay, let's just save our project too while we're at it. Okay, so now I'm going to design the cloak thing that I think I want to do. And I think the way I'm just going to do that is really simply with a like a circle skirt kind of pattern that will have a cutout for his head. And then I might try to add a interesting high collar. So I'm just going to make a ellipse polygon shape. We'll go like that. Let's move it. And then let's make an internal ellipse. Probably like that big. And we can make this smaller after the fact. I just want to make sure that we can get his head through that. So let's convert this to a hole. And then in the 3D viewer, let's move this around and rotate. Okay. Let me just move this correctly. So I'm just going to see how that looks when played. Okay, so we've got the shape, but I think it's obviously a little bit too big of a hole in the neck. So I'm going to make that smaller. Let's move this. And I'm just going to kind of keep making it smaller until I think it's at a point that I need it to be. And me just move things around a bit. And actually I might move the hole a little bit more to the front because I think I want there to be more of the pattern in the back hanging down. Yeah, kind of like that. And then I think I'll add the collar first. And let's see, how do I want to do that? I think I'll make another ellipse probably. And hold on, it's saving first. Oh, I forgot to hit record before I did this, but I just right clicked and did layer clone over for the poncho, just like I did with the bottom of the pants. Because I think I might add some internal lines so I can make this like a puffer jacket look almost. I'm not totally sure. I could delete this later, but I might experiment. But let's add the collar though. So I'm going to make another ellipse. And then we'll add another internal ellipse for the head. Let's move that in place and convert that to a hole. And let's find this and drag it into the right place. Okay, we might be good there. And I'm going to be sewing the inner circle to the collar. Don't do the outer circle. The inner circle to the collar of the poncho. So we'll try sewing it to the top layer. That might make the most sense. So I think we have to do MN free sewing. And let's select this ring and then enter, and then select this ring and enter. And okay, let's try it. Cool, we've got a collar going. I think we're gonna have to make some cuts in the circle shape and then sew those together, kind of like darts, I think. Let's try going from here. We won't cut all the way through, but let's try that. And then we can cut and we can delete, and then we can sew that piece together. Let's do that. It's a learning experience. I'm always kind of improvising as I go. I guess maybe I'll just try making some more cuts in other spots too. I wonder if I just add pressure to this, if that will solve our needs. Let's try that. Let's just try setting this to 1, seeing what that does. Okay. Okay, maybe we're getting there. But we also need to reverse the normals on this. Flip normal. Yeah, I think I just have too much fabric, so I'm gonna try to get rid of some of that. Let's try that. That's a lot more like what I was looking for. So now I think I'm gonna try duplicating this and sewing it like we did for the circle pattern, and then I'm going to maybe add some rings to puff this up. Okay, so let me just try puffing that up. I have no idea really how the pressure settings work. I really need to research more. Every time I've tried adding pressure to a skirt, it just goes straight up. So I'm assuming we need the two overlapping layers like this to have like air going into, so it's not just floating up under one piece of fabric. But I gotta experiment. I just need to select this pattern and add some pressure. Okay, this is gonna be a test. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try setting this to 1. Let's just see what that does. If it just starts floating up, I'm gonna be a little worried. Oh, maybe we need to make our inner rings elastic too. Yeah, it's starting to float up, isn't it? Okay, that's not bad. It's not totally doing it. Then making the rings elastic. Let's see what that does. Okay, let's try making those elastic. Ooh, look at that. Too much. There, that's kind of nice. Maybe we'll also make the collar puffy and elastic. Okay, but we also need to probably make our patterns smaller particle distance, because I don't think I did that with these. Yeah. Let's make those 10. Then I'm going to make our collar puffy. Okay, 38. I don't know why that's doing it, but that's doing it. I like it. It's looking good, folks. We got a fun shape going. Particle distance 210. I like it. Now all that's left to do is simulate the animation. So let's just see what that's like when we simulate this. Let's just go up to animation and record, and let's let it do its thing. So that's the one thing I've not really figured out, is like how to make clothing on my looped animated characters from Daz in a way that also seems to loop. I don't know if I have to do some kind of pose morphs or something in cinema, but it'd be lovely if I could find a way to make the clothing have a resting position. And you know what, maybe that just means I need to add more frames between the T pose and the final pose, so that the clothes have more time to settle before being animated. But let's just go to the start and then check it out. So let's say we are totally cool with all that. We like the full animation, and I'm not gonna do more with it just because I think it's fine. Then what we want to make sure we do, select all of our patterns, then hit this toggle and go to UV editor, and then right click and hit fit UV to 0 - 1. And that'll put it all within one cube, and we're gonna have to drag some of these pieces out because they're stacked right now. And you don't want anything to be like overlapping. Okay, and we could resize this a bit, but I'm just gonna say that's fine. So I think we have all of our pieces. Let's go back to the 2D pattern window. Let's save one more time. I almost forgot. Okay, so I do want to add some different fabric types and maybe colors for different things. Like I might want to have alternating colors for each section of the poncho. So I'm going to create a new fabric. Shoot. Crap. Hold on. Oh, this is the worst. Okay. This is so frustrating that Marvelous is this way. So I've done this before. I might have to just go to one of my earlier saves. I don't know why, for whatever reason, once you get to this point, if you decide to make changes after recording your animation, it just, it will not reset. So if I hit go to start, the clothes stay in the position they were in. I just think it's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not too happy about that. So I might have to reopen an old save. Let's try that. Let's redo the fabrics here since that was a mess up. Make sure your character is in starting position just in case we get that issue again. We can always re-record the animation. So let's split and sew. I think maybe it's because we edited the UVs, but I'm not totally sure. Let's cut and sew these. We should be good. Now we can color stuff. So let's do pants first since we know we need that orange color. Okay, then let's copy pant cuff. Let's make it a little darker. Okay, let's assign that. The poncho. Let's do the green. And then let's copy that and we'll do, let's just see what those are like together. Let's do poncho 1. Oh, I need to rename that. Poncho 2. So maybe I'll call that good. Let's go back to our UV editor and let's just, okay, everything still looks okay. So now we need to reanimate. So let's just do that. Go back to animation, record. So I'm happy with that. Again, after we animate, do not make any more changes to the pattern or the fabric or anything because it will mess up how the clothing animates. So I'm going to be done with this. I'm going to select all my patterns. Then I'm just going to go to File. Let's save it one more time. And then let's export as an Alembic. So I'll show you those settings after I save. Okay, so let's go export Alembic. I'm going to pick where I want this. Okay, and then when the window pops up, I think I want it Ogawa and thick. And then I think we'll just try this. And if we don't have the selections, then I'll go back and change this to thin and welded. But for now, let's just try thick. Yeah, we'll just see how that goes. So we are in Cinema 4D, and the first thing I've done is I've just pulled a backdrop in and a figure just for sizing reference, because sometimes when importing the clothing or the character, they might be different sizes because we've used a couple different programs. So I just like to have that in there as reference. But let's open our Alembic files for the character and for the clothing. So you can just go to File and then open. And you can pull those right in. Okay, so here's our guy. So I just imported our guy and you can see he's pretty small. So let's try 10 for the scale. I think that's what we need and that's good. So then let's import our clothes. And there we have it. I just copied and pasted it from the Alembic that it opened. And this is our base character, and hit play and it will go through the animation. Cool. So yeah, obviously you can click to any point in the timeline, but we've got our clothes and our character. And I do realize that our clothing did not pull in the selection tags. So I might have to re-import that. You just need to export the Alembic of the clothes and then a OBJ version. And this will have all your selection tags for the different parts of your clothes with the materials. So that was what we needed. Obviously the OBJ won't move, but I'll show you what we can do. Let's just rename this OBJ clothes. And then let's copy that and paste it into our scene. And then what we want to do is select all of the tags and materials. You probably don't need to do the materials, but I'll just do this for now. And then we're just going to drag it onto our cloth parent. So if we do that, everything should transfer over. And then even though this is animated, this should work. Let me hide the OBJ. That's really all you have to do.